Poppy Playtime character backstories, Miss Delight. Miss Delight is one of Playtime Co.'s toys and a former teacher at Playcare's school who, following the hour of joy, lost her mind and cannibalized her sisters in order to survive. She's now the sole remaining toy inside the school, trying to kill the protagonist once he enters it. Miss Delight was one of the teacher's sisters, created for the Playcare school to educate the kids, and is the first monster who actually appears human. She looks like a young human woman with bright blue eyes and short blonde hair. She has red, rosy cheeks and a red hair bow on her head. She wears a turquoise apron with the picture of an apple on it over a yellow blouse and a red necktie. She wears a red dress with white polka dots on it. She also has larger than normal humanoid teeth, most likely made for biting and tearing apart her prey. On the dreadful day called the Hour of Joy, Miss Delight and her sisters turned against Playtime Co.'s employees, with a tape recording showing them chase one employee into a room and kill him. After the event was over, all the teachers were locked inside the school by someone. Miss Delight began to fall into madness due to starvation, realizing her sisters were purposefully keeping food away from her so they could eat her once she dies, making a makeshift weapon called Barb, who she genuinely thinks is sapient. Miss Delight killed her siblings and cannibalized them to survive. When first heard, Miss Delight sounds sweet, kind, and very bubbly. She almost sounds as though she is genuinely trying to warn the player to get out of Playcare so that they do not suffer the same fate as the other teachers and orphans during the Hour of Joy. In some ways, she may very well be, as part of what humanity may still linger within her. However, when she is next heard, it is clear that Miss Delight is just as deranged and hungry for human flesh as Playtime CO's other creations. More of a hint of mischievousness, sadism, and even cruelty could be heard in it. This is further proven by a videotape found by the player that indicates that some of the other adults were right to keep the children safe from her in a room, as she gleefully states that she likely would have killed them. Her insanity is even visible on her face as she pursues the player through the school. She chastises the player for not listening to her warning, comparing them to the other humans who'd been in the school. But then, she savors the thought of finding out whether or not the player will scream like she made them scream, hinting at both her past cruel actions committed in the school during the Hour of Joy and her current intentions toward the player. Once the player nears their completion of the school puzzle, Miss Delight fully appears, emerging from a door, quickly bashing a nearby generator to shut off the lights in order to make the ensuing chase easier for herself, though this also does the player a favor, as this releases a battery that they will need. She then begins chasing the player through the school, intent on devouring them. The player must keep their eye on her, as she mainly moves toward them whenever they look away from her, as well as whenever the lights are either dim or low. She will not move when the player looks at her, or when the lights are at a high enough level of brightness. Upon finding the right pathway, the player is then pursued even more quickly than before by Miss Delight. However, she is defeated when the player, just in time, pulls a lever to drop a metal door onto her, killing her when it bashes her over the head. She is last seen with her body lying on the floor, blood spilling out of her crushed head.